Ashley Rhianne, and I'm an oriental dancer and instructor based in Vancouver, Canada. I'm also a Stott Pilates instructor. I've been making a series of videos tying together my love of Pilates also with dance, and this is all stuff that I've been teaching with my students, and so I've had a few recommendations by people that I should be putting this format online, so this is what I'm doing for you. So today we're going to be talking about the pelvis. So much about Egyptian dance is they use their pelvis in a very distinct way. And so instead of actually using the bones, I'm going to be kind of just giving you a bit of an understanding of how to actually use the muscles as opposed to the bones. So when I get, you just come and sit down, and I'm just going to do a little bit of an anatomy lesson here. So when we are moving our pelvis, we have essentially a few different positions. So a neutral pelvis or a neutral spine is the position that we stand in, that we do most of our functional activities in. So there's a little bit of a lift of the backbone, and the pubic bone is dropped ever so slightly. This position is really good for shock absorption. It helps distribute the weight of the upper body throughout the lower trunk, and it's a really optimal position for our backbone and our discs between our bones to operate. The other position that we work in is something called imprint, and this is where you want to think about lengthening that tailbone and scooping through that pubic bone, and so you actually are flattening the back. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go through a few little exercises here just so that you can understand this concept and then how we actually tie this in to Egyptian style dance. So I'm going to get you to lie down on your back, and let's just place your hands on your hip bones, and so you can place the heel of your hands right on the crest of those hips, and then your fingertips are going down towards your pubic bone. And if you have a little look, right now, everything is in one plane. And if you feel underneath your back, there should be a really small space between your back and the floor or the mat. So this is your neutral spine, and it's going to depend person to person. Everyone's backs are a bit different. People's hips are a different size. Of course, people's booties a little bit bigger. So it's going to depend on your back. But what's important here is that we're not arching. We're just really feeling that tailbone really settling on the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and I want you to think about lengthening that tailbone and then scooping that pubic bone up towards your nose. And so what you're doing, you're activating your abdominals, your transverse abdominis muscles, and you're really flattening that back on the ground. And we're not forcing it. It's still a really kind of a gentle contraction, but it's just so that you can feel a lot of stability here. Then what we're going to do, we're going to exhale, and we're just going to think about bringing the hip position back to our neutral spine. So it's almost like we're dropping that pubic bone back towards the heels. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to lengthen through that tailbone, scoop through that pubic bone. And if you look at your hands now, you're going to see that your pubic bone is actually higher than your hips. So this is a really good indication if you're in that imprinted spine. All right, so we're just gonna have our hands just out by our side, and we're gonna exhale, we're just gonna release. Let's just do a few kind of nice gentle mobilizations here, just to kind of get that sense of that fluidity. So in a lot of the Egyptian pelvic work, there's certain movements where you're working with that tuck or that slight little exaggeration through the hips. A lot of people teach to lead with their tailbone, and I teach a lot with working with these abdominals, and so this is a really nice way for you to strengthen and kind of get a better understanding of what's happening in your pelvis here. So another little exercise that we can do to kind of engage these muscles is we're going to work a little bit in some tabletop position. So we're going to have our hands down by our side, place a little bit of pressure into the palms, and then I'm going to get you to take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to go into that imprinted position just to have a lot of pelvic stability here. On the exhale, we're just going to float that right leg up into a tabletop position. Tabletop is a 90 degrees angle with the foot and the knee and that hip. And we're really working with our abdominals. We're not actually using our leg at all. We are moving right from that hip joint. But the angle of the knee actually doesn't move, okay? So we're going to exhale, we're going to float that down. Inhale, we're going to float the left leg up, and exhale, we're going to float that down, making sure that we keep that nice imprint on the floor. Deep breath in, float the right leg up, and exhale, and deep breath in, floating that left leg up, and exhale.
exhale, floating it down. Good. Inhale, we're gonna float the right leg up. We're gonna hold it here, use those abdominals to really stabilize. And on the exhale, we're gonna float that left leg up. We're gonna keep both legs in tabletop. Inhale to lower the right leg. Exhale to float it up. Inhale, lower the left leg. Exhale to float it up. And inhale and exhale. Always thinking that you're seeking length from the top of your head all the way to that tailbone. That nice gentle contraction through the abdominals. We're gonna think about bringing those ribs in towards each other just to engage the upper abdominals. Good, and last time here. We're gonna bring both legs together. We're gonna zip them together, so really active inner thighs, drawing those ribs together, really stable through the pelvis. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna touch those toes down on the ground, and exhale, bringing them up. Inhale to extend at that hip line, and exhale. Making sure that our necks are nice and long, and we're gonna look just over our knees at the ceiling. Exhale up, and inhale to lower, and exhale. You can add another little challenge by flexing the feet, thinking about drawing those pinky toes towards your nose, ribs coming together, really stable through that pelvis. Inhale to lower, exhale, coming up. Inhale to lower, exhale. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale to lower, exhale, and last time, and exhale. Good. And we'll just bring both legs down. Good work. And you can just release at the hip. So a lot of those pelvic movements, like I said, are found in Egyptian dance. So anything where you're coming into that tuck or into that extension, I really think about tucking that pubic bone up towards my nose, and when I release, I think about lengthening through those abdominals. So I'm in my neutral spine here. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath in. I'm gonna think about pulling those abdominals in, and then exhale as we release. We're coming back into our neutral position. Inhale, scooping through the abdominals, making sure that our rib cage stays lifted and slightly back. We're not bringing that rib cage over. And exhale to release. In and out. In and out. In and out. And in and release. So this is really popular in these kind of movements when we're coming in here, and you want to think about those hips slightly tilting back behind you as you're contracting through those abdominals. Those hips are hinging up. So our hips are like a wheel, and so you want to think about it always scooping up and releasing down. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful, and if you have any ideas for any other videos, please let me know. You can like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you.